Washington 7, Dallas nothing. As we begin the second quarter, that's Ron Middleton. He has a sprained knee, and his return is questionable at the moment.
And he has done a heck of a job of blocking for this Redskin team this year.
Rypien, incomplete. In the direction of Monk. First quarter statistics sort of insignificant so far, with one exception, the turnover.
And then, of course, the points off turnovers is 7 points. And the other thing, I think, is right here in these rushing yards. You see the Cowboys only have 15, the Redskins only 22. Both teams felt coming into this game they had to be able to run the ball. And usually you start running more in the second, third, and fourth quarter than you ever do in the first quarter.
Third down, Rypien back to throw it. Has a lot of time. Finally gets rid of it. Incomplete. No flags. Intended for Ricky Sanders. Washington came up to make the hit that knocked it loose.
You know, we're talking about best tackles, and watch Jim Lachey, number 79 here, the left tackle here. He got a little jersey on that. He has a little cloth on Hill there, but he has his arms extended, then he gets the arms in, and then he just pushes them right by the quarterback and buries them.
That footwork.
You can't beat that. All that stuff, football, hot dogs, apple pie, and Jim Lachey.
High snap. Woodburn gets it down, gets off a great kick. Calvin Martin all the way back to the 5-yard line. Out of the pack and almost broken. Out to about the 25. Raleigh McKenzie tripped him up. Stadium in Washington from the outside. Earlier. Beautiful weekend in Washington. Sort of threatening on Friday. Yesterday was Indian summer, and today is brisk, bright, blustery, but perfect for football.
There's Darrell Green, Pat. I'll guarantee you he's looking for number 88, Michael Irvin. Although on that play, I think he was on Harper.
Aikman back to throw it on first down. Gets it outside to Alfredo Roberts. 7-yard gain, stopped by Millen. That's Roberts, the tight end, who's down, and they're starting to run out of tight ends now.
This is what it's like going against Darrell Green. I mean, he's not only fast, he's the fastest man in the NFL, but he's so quick. And as Aikman said, we're talking to Troy Aikman, he says, you know, he says, I look over there at the guy covering, and he says, you never see much air between the jerseys.
Their numbers are always close together, he said.
I know it, and that's tough to throw to. That doesn't give you a lot of confidence when you see the white jersey 28 just blending in with the blue jersey of your guy. Usually he takes Michael Irvin. It was interesting, after they hit the big one to Alvin Harper, that last play, he was on Alvin Harper.
Roberts still being observed. 7-0 Washington. Quarter at RFK Stadium in Washington. The Cowboys, Alfredo Roberts.
Hey, that hurts. There's Jay Novacek, number 84, the leading tight end receiver. He's out of today's game. Alfredo Roberts had just got hurt. Now they're to Rob Awalt, the only one they have left.
Emmitt Smith, left side, tripped up first by Darrell Green and Wilbur Marshall close by, and Andre Collins. He might have gotten a yard, but no more.
And Alfredo Roberts is the blocker of the group, and if Emmitt Smith is going to have a good day running, you need a blocking tight end back in there. In fact, he just ran back in there. But Novacek is kind of a pass receiver, and Rob Awalt is kind of the pass receiving tight end, and Alfredo Roberts is the blocking tight end.
3rd and 2. Awalt and Roberts both in the game now. Harper in motion, and Aikman back to throw. Gets it outside to Harper. Harper out of bounds. A Dallas first down, stopped by Mayhew, but they got 12 yards.
Yeah, you don't see Troy Aikman do a lot of that rolling out, but he looked pretty good on that. I mean, he moves out there quickly. Watch him. This is just a sprint out. He just opens up, just sprints out there, throws on the run. That looks like the old college days. That's very impressive. And that's not a bad changeup either. Guys start rushing you at a throwing point, and it's not bad to sometimes change that throwing point.
First down, Dallas at their own 45, and Aikman will throw on first down. Pass is caught by Michael Irvin. Stopped by Darrell Green. Another first down after a pickup at 17 for an NFL update. Back to New York again, and Greg Gumbel.
Pat, you saw that 7-7 score in Tampa. Here's how the Bucs did it. Reggie Cobb on the first play of the second quarter, 27 yards. The Bucs and the Giants are tied in the second quarter. Pat?
Back at RFK, another look at that last pass completion.
Well, of course, you don't throw much on Darrell Green. Here, Michael Irvin, he just runs a hook pattern, makes a heck of a catch.
On first down, Aikman will throw again. Goes for Irvin. Again, they went at Darrell Green with Irvin. Incomplete.
Well, you know, Aikman said last night, he said, you just can't let Darrell Green off the hook. He said, we want to take some shots at him, but we want to take deep or up the field shots. They think you don't want to run those hooks and turn-ins and little things. He said, if you're going to take a shot, take one deep. Michael Irvin almost had that one.
Aikman 4 out of 7, second and 10 at the Redskins 39. Washington leading 7-0. Awalt was the move man this time. This is Emmitt Smith. He hits down to about the 32, stopped by Brad Edwards. Smith got 5. He's nearing 1,000 yards on the year.
I'll tell you, any running back you want to get into, through, and out of the hole quickly. I'll tell you, Emmitt Smith does that. Did you see how quickly? I mean, boom, he was right into that hole and whap, right out of it. The more time you spend in the hole, the more time you're spending around guys that are a whole heck of a lot bigger than you are.
5 short of 1,000 yards for Emmitt Smith. He's 8 for 20 today. Third down and 5. Aikman back to throw. Ooh, that could have been picked off. Darrell Johnston, the intended receiver. A.J. Johnson was the Redskin defender.
Yeah, I think if you're going to throw to Darrell Johnston, you want to throw not in nickel when you have a cornerback on him. You want to throw like on first down when you have a linebacker on him. It's fourth down. It looks like in fact, it doesn't look like it. The Cowboys are going.
Cowboys are going.
Down.
They are 6 and 5, still in the wild card picture very much. Aikman has Smith behind him. Elvin Martin was the man in motion. Aikman. That should be enough for the first down. Michael Irvin, a 7-yard pickup.
I think that's what Jimmy Johnson was thinking about, Pat, when he said, we're going to give you some excitement tomorrow. I think he knows that the Redskins are a better team, and if you're going to beat a better team, you have to take some chances. You can't be conservative, and maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the play that gives his team confidence within this game. Hey, Joe Gibbs doesn't like that. When someone comes into your park, goes for it on fourth down and makes it, that'll quiet the crowd down.
Well, we were talking to Troy Aikman last night. He said, I like to play here. That's Emmitt Smith to about the 24. Picked up 2, stopped by Matt Millen. I like the grass. I like the open stadium. I like the crowd. This is all quoting Aikman. He seems very comfortable, doesn't he?
I know, he is very comfortable. I think that, you know, he's finally in his third year feeling comfortable. First year, the rookie year, that's kind of a blur to you. The second year, you just start feeling, you know what you're doing. And then the third year, you start to feel comfortable. And I think Norv Turner, the new offensive coordinator, has helped that too.
Second down. Blitz coming. Wilber Marshall. A loss loss of 8. They just had him outnumbered.
I'll tell you, that doesn't help when no one touches. Wilber Marshall is right up here, and you're going to see him not only come, but he is going to come untouched. You see, there's no blocker. The fullback goes inside. No one touches or even goes towards Wilber Marshall. And I'll tell you, if you don't go towards him or knock him off a little, he brings a heavy load when he hits you.
How many guys, including Wilber Marshall, did Joe Gibbs say to us yesterday are having their career years?
He was one of them. Monty Coleman, who's in there now, is another one. He said all his older players.
Emmitt Smith. Touchdown, Dallas. The quick draw from 32 yards away. And the Cowboys have a chance to even things.
When you have a guy like Emmitt Smith, you just have to keep going to him. Of course, that play was 5 short of 1,000. We know he went over 1,000 yards on that play. But again, did he hit that hole quickly?
Willis with Novacek, who can't play but can hold. Holding. Willis for the extra point. Emmitt Smith now 1,030 yards. Horns and whistles and Emmitt Smith. He can make some horns go off.
That penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
Bob McElwee, the referee, whatever the penalty is.
Well, I think it was against Charles Mann, 71. He jumped before the ball was snapped, so they give him the penalty. It'll be against the Redskins.
Well, that's marginal.
Watch this one again, how quickly he gets in there. He makes one miss. He is very difficult to tackle. The moves that he makes, he doesn't give you a lot. But there weren't a lot of Redskins in those pictures.
7-7 tie in the first half. Dallas 7, Washington 7. A 32-yard scoring run by Emmitt Smith. They kept the ball just over 5 minutes. Willis will kick it off in the direction of Mitchell and Ervins. Both dangerous. Onside kick. It's going to be close. The Cowboys are saying we got it, and they do.
I'll tell you, Jimmy Johnson has opened us up here. He went for it on 4th down, picked up the first down. And then he gets a touchdown to Emmitt Smith. Then he comes back and goes for the onside kick. The Cowboys are not coming in here to RFK just to stand around. Watch that onside kick. Almost had a chance there, but there's 4 Cowboys right on it. Andre Collins was a linebacker up there in the front line, 55. When he missed it, there were 4 Cowboys there to get it.
Derek Brownlow came up with a ball.
I'll tell you, this is the way. If you're an underdog playing away, and you don't, and you feel you're outmanned, I think Jimmy Johnson is playing them the way you have to play them.
The onside kick worked. Let's see if they go for a shot right here. Well, anytime you give it to Emmitt Smith, you've got a shot. But the Redskins are up to the occasion. Andre Collins made the stop.
You know, Collins better do his playing before the whistle blows. I mean, if you're going to get Emmitt Smith, it doesn't do any good to do a lot of talking after he's down. You know, just a second ago, he talked with a touchdown. Watch, Kevin Gogan, the left guard, pulls. Boom, you got the trap right there. Now watch how fast he gets through the hole, and then there's no one there because they're all playing pass defense.
Back we come at 2nd down. They need Aikman. Redskins have a blitz going, but the pass is caught by Irvin. Dallas 1st down. Darrell Green. Brad Edwards made the stop. They're not staying away from Darrell Green.
I'll tell you, I like this. I like what the Cowboys are doing. I mean, they are going after him. They've come in here and just, they started out a little slowly. Then they started going after Darrell Green. They started going for it on 4th down. They run a draw trap. They get an onside kick. They come back and they go after Green. This is what you call attack football.
Plus, they're keeping the football out of the hands of the dangerous Redskins. 1st and 10. Aikman back on 1st down. A lot of time. He is spun down. 3rd sack of the day. Eric Williams.
And that one is a coverage sack. He had no one to go to. He had time. Watch, this is pretty good protection here. Watch him. Good pocket, good pass protection. Time, look. Couldn't find anything, and now, of course, it breaks down. But you have to give that sack to the Redskin coverage.
Williams made the sack on Aikman, but Fred Stokes was the man who applied the pressure. He's out. Aikman. Ball played Aikman. That's Smith. Down to about the 30. 31 make it a gain of 7.
You know, a guy who's doing a pretty good job is a rookie right tackle, Eric Williams, number 79 for the Cowboys. He's drawing Charles Mann, and he's in there blocking him pretty well. This guy's a big guy. He's like 6'6", 320 pounds. And he played well last week against the Redskins, and I think he's playing well against Charles Mann today. Mann didn't play last week, maybe a little ding, but Williams has held his own because we haven't heard Mann's name yet.
3rd and 9. Bobby Wilson now.
Dallas. That's Dallas.
On the Redskin defense.
Timeout.
Timeout, Dallas. Nicholas back into the picture.
You think that would be a favorite? The Shark, he's the host, and I think Nicholas made the course or something.
He did. Well, he had something to do with it.
There's a guy who's a gambler today. I mean, this guy came in here to do some coaching, this Jimmy Johnson. He didn't come in here to stand around and watch a football game.
3rd and 9. Aikman back to throw it. Incomplete. The pass was there. Irvin got tangled up. That could have been caught. It would have been a tough catch.
I'll tell you, they have some confidence now. You know, they know that they don't have to stay away from Darrell Green. They have completed some passes on him. Now they know that they can go in that direction.
4th down, and they're going for it again. 4th and 9. So much for the field goal kicker.
Yeah, well, you've already got him. He probably figures he has a free one in it. He got this series off an onside kick.
Aikman back. The Redskins put the pressure on. They get it out to A-Wall. No 1st down. A gain of 8. They needed 9. Alvoid Mays stopped him short.
That's not bad, though. They almost got it to the 20. If you don't feel you could make the field goal from there, which you probably did, if you punt it, it's probably going to go into the end zone, and you're going to get there anyway. At least he took a shot. So, I'll tell you, I'm impressed with the way Jimmy Johnson is coaching, and I know that the players have to like that, and it's kept this Redskin offense off the field.
Hard to score without the ball. Has kept the crowd out of the game. Redskins got their touchdown on an interception by Mayhew. 31 yards. Here's Rypien. Not much. The Cowboys tied it on a 32-yard run by Emmitt Smith.
I think one thing that you worry about when you don't have the ball for that long, you think that bad things are happening, and you forget that the score is still tied, and you go into pressuring to force the ball and something. That's what the Redskins have to worry about now, that hey, it's still 7-7. Everything's okay.
2nd and 9. cover man, a gain of 12.
Well, watch how far Isaac Holt is off of Monk. Instead of covering him, he just pointed to him. You see him? That's a form of coverage. He backed off. I think he was trying to get a linebacker some help out there underneath, because Ike Holt was so far off Art Monk, there's no way that he could have been responsible for him.
Monk comes wide left this time. Fake to Biner. Rypien's going to take a shot. Too long a shot.
Well, Gary Clark is upset because he hasn't caught a pass yet, I don't think. He was down around 35. He thought they should have taken the shot to him. They were both going deep. They came off on Monk. Clark thought he should have gotten the ball, and I'll guarantee you, I know Gary Clark, he's going to go back and tell Mark Rypien that.
Or else he's not going to speak to him. He's angry.
Let's see. You're going to see that he did have him over the middle. You see, if we can go like this and just stop it now, we'll see here's where he throws, and here's Clark all by himself. And that's what Clark is upset.
Here comes the reverse again, and there's nothing there. Tony Casillas wrapped him up for a loss of 7. That's that closet play. Put it in the closet and leave it there.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, we always talk about running, whether it's a sweep or whatever. You can't allow penetration. Tony Casillas got in the backfield. He's a tackle. You know, they're just grunt guys. They're just blah, blah, blah. You know, they can't see anything. They just go in there and start, you know, separating bodies. When you run a reverse, probably just ran right into Tony Casillas.
3rd and 17. Monk is wide right. Sanders goes in that direction. And Rypien back to throw. Screen pass to Biner. He's got some blockers in front. The blockers really got in the way. Bostic was the man he tripped over. Got 9 yards. Russell Maryland, who's really starting to come on for the Cowboys, got in the middle of that screen.
Well, Russell Maryland, of course, was the not only #1 draft choice of the Cowboys, he was the #1 draft choice in the entire draft, and each week he's starting to look more and more like it.
Kelvin Martin back deep for Dallas. Good burn. The punter. Him again. They hurried him. They didn't block it. To about the 39, Sidney Johnson was the first man down. 34-yard punt, 8-yard return. So they only net 26 at RFK Stadium in Washington. As usual, sold out. 3:50 left to play in the first half. The score tied at 7. Pat Summerall with John Madden.
You know, you can never underestimate a rivalry game. You know, this game goes back, and it's the biggest rivalry in the Cowboys' history, and it's always been a big one for the Redskins. And like those big rivalry games in college, when they play, you never know what's going to happen.
No penalty. Aikman slipped down. He thought somebody jumped offside, I think.
Well, again, it was that penetration. You know, we saw Tim Johnson, number 78. He got in that backfield, and that will always cause havoc.
Loss of 4.
You know, watch 78. He's moving early. Now, did he get across there early? We don't know that. Aikman went to turn the hand off, and there was no one to hand off to. So the first thing you do is you follow where the ball was supposed to go. You see the ball was going to go to the left. He didn't get it there. So you better follow in that hole. That's when you're blocking in. And if that doesn't work, just fall down.
2nd and 14. Irvin. First down, Dallas. Good throw from Aikman. Darrell Green on the stop.
Yeah, we talked about Norv Turner as offensive coordinator coming from the Rams. This is what he brought to Aikman. He made Aikman quicker. He made him get back quicker. He made him throw the ball quicker. He made him throw on timing and rhythm, and that's what that pass was.
1st and 10 Cowboys at their own 45. 7-7 tie at RFK. Emmitt Smith stopped in the hole and then broke out of the hole. wound up with about 3 yards. Charles Mann made the stop.
I'll tell you, if you count all these moves, you would think there'd be a lot more than 3 yards. Watch him. You start there, you cut to the left, you make another cut to the left, you bounce back to the right, then you keep going, you go backwards, then you go forwards, and then you spin around, and all that, you get 3 yards. But somewhere in there is another big play.
Your legs better be in pretty good shape for that one. Aikman not quite sure. And we get down to 2 minutes left in the first half with the score tied at 7. John?
Well, I got the turkey that we got to get cooked for Thanksgiving. I'm trying to get the legs out of here. We got to get this thing loosened up a little. Then we'll get this big old thing cooked. And then on Thursday, we'll give the turkey leg to the best player in the game.
That's assuming we can get it out of there.
I got to get some legs out of there. Those legs they're tied in or tucked underneath or something. Remember last year it was Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith won it. 1989 it was big Reggie White of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Reggie really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would hope the turkey would cooperate and let those legs pop out of there. I think they tied the legs in. Got the legs in the side, now they're tucked in the inside or so. I don't know, I couldn't find a leg.
They got to be in there somewhere. That's Ervin. First down, stopped by Darrell Green. Aikman found him out of the pack. 14-yard gain.
Hey, when they, coming into this game, you knew that when Jay Novacek was out, that Aikman had to find another go-to guy, and you didn't think it would be Michael Irvin because you would think that Darrell Green would take that away, but the Cowboys have found a way to make Michael Irvin the go-to guy.
He's caught 5. He was the league leader, tied for the lead coming in. He's in motion this time, and Aikman back to throw it. And is sacked by Eric Williams. Boy, he's been a real pickup.
Yeah, 75 there. You'll see him. He started like he was going to run a stunt. Then he just ran an arm over against Giesick, and he was right there for the sack. He looked like he was gonna go inside. Then he didn't even go inside. He just ran that hit with the left arm, bring the right arm up over, and he ends up with a sack.
That's what they call a swim. Here's Aikman back to throw. Gets it out to Alfredo Roberts. Not much there. 4 yards. Andre Collins on the stop. He'll bring up a third down.
I'm still impressed with the job that Eric Williams is doing on Charles Mann. I've been watching him pass protect there. Mann is the best pass rusher on this team, and Eric Williams has really done a good job of blocking him.
He certainly has. Timeout Dallas. They have one left. 7-7 tie, but the big game so far has been John's bout with the turkey.
Look, I got the legs.
The legs are out.
Look. That's not the legs right now. We can take this thing. We can cook it. Then we'll take these legs off and we'll give it Thanksgiving to the best player. I thought maybe it didn't even have any legs. At least I found the legs.
I don't know if they'll accept it or not. AG to the Washington 35. A pickup of 7. Stopped by Monty Coleman.
Yeah, that'd be something. When if you give an award and they say, I don't want it. They look at what we've been going through here, they won't want it. I think Troy Aikman saw it and he said he wants a timeout. So I've seen enough of that turkey legs. Let's get a timeout because he's thinking here that he wants to get in position to take a shot at a field goal at least.
13 seconds left coming up at the halftime on the NFL Today. The Dockers halftime report. Greg and Terry with all the scores and highlights and latest information. Halftime is 13 seconds away. Dallas has now used all of their timeouts. 4th and 7 will be the situation. Score 7-7 between the Giants and Tampa Bay, and it's 7-7 here. Buffalo 10, New England 3. Patriots are starting to play everybody tough. Detroit with their 7-4 record, and Minnesota with playoff hopes.
And here this is the 3rd time in the first half that the Cowboys are going for it on 4th down. Their choice is to kick a field goal. It would have been a 51-yard field goal. I think they want to get a first down and then maybe go for the field goal.
But they're out of timeouts. Here's Aikman back to throw it. Going to take a Hail Mary shot. Touchdown! Alvin Harper out of the pack. Touchdown from 34 yards out. Harper got the shot from Aikman.
I'll tell you, Jimmy Johnson hasn't made one single conservative call today. I thought you try and get the ball, you get out of bounds, you kick a field goal. They think the heck with it. Let's go for the juggler. If you're playing here, take the thing. It's fourth down. The third time in the first half they've gone for the fourth down. Look at this ball up in the air. Number 80, Alvin Harper coming up with it. How can that happen?
Right in the middle of 5 Redskins.
And he caught it clean. Usually those things are tipped or you catch them on a rebound. He caught that thing. It wasn't even tipped.
Willis for the extra point with Novacek holding in. The Cowboys will go into the dressing room at the half, leading 14-7. Harper, 4 seconds left. So they will have to kick it off.
I tell you, that was a beautiful catch. I mean, I don't know that I've seen football like the Cowboys are playing where you come in and play as aggressively as they have. We've had them go for fourth down on three times. We've had them get an onside kick. They've pulled out all the stops in this first half.
And I haven't seen a catch like that on the Hail Mary, the alley-oop, whatever you call it, since R.C. Owens used to do it.
Well, you know, there was just one a couple of weeks ago. Remember a couple of Hail Marys, one at the end of the game, and there was one again that went up like that untouched. But I'll tell you, Jimmy Johnson came here to coach, and he has done an impressive job in the 3 years he's been with the Cowboys, but this first half of coaching has been very, very impressive.
And the first half of playing by his players has been very impressive.
Well, he hasn't put any wraps on them.
He'll bounce this one down. Gobert is the man who fielded it as the half runs out. The Cowboys down 7-0, come roaring back. That's the end of the first half. With the score, Dallas 14, Washington 7.